Hi guys, and welcome back to another flight simulator video, and today I'm going to be going into more detailed review of the Airbus A380 by Bredok3D. Now let's start off with the liveries, which is the first thing that you see on the screen. We have 6 in total, 6 decent ones. I think Air France don't fly their A380 anymore, which is a bit disappointment for them, but these 6 liveries, I think we should have more. One that I was looking forward to most was Emirates, but unfortunately that's not there. However, there are plans to bring in more liveries in a future update. As stated by Bredok3D himself, I think those will be Emirates. So we've got Emirates Celebration, Singapore, Qantas, Korean, Malaysian, and China Southern. So those should be coming in a future update. I also contacted him via email, asking about certain things such as the cabin, more liveries, etc. And he did say that they are working on it and they will be updating the A380. There isn't a time frame as of filming this video, but he does have a wish list on his website which you can check out, that details what will be coming. I'll get into that later on. One thing I did want to touch on is the good things about this aircraft. So as you can see here, we've got this little map section on the bottom left, and I think this is one thing I really like. I don't know if we've got this on other aircrafts as detailed as this is, but when you put in your flight plan at the beginning of the game, it works out quite nice because it gives you a detailed view as to where you're supposed to go, which airports you're flying across. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, so it is quite interactive as well. So that's one of the things I like about this aircraft. Again, can't remember if other aircrafts in this game have that or not. Probably do in a bit more detail, but I know a lot of people slate off Bredok for the quality of his aircrafts, and everyone has a right to do so. They have been quite poor, such as his 737 Max. But I mean, if he's releasing something that's decent and works, then I'm gonna give him a bit of credit for it. This is the cockpit. Some of the buttons, they work, they don't work. I've tried clicking on some of them, but we've just got those empty keys, which is a shame. I'm sure you saw it before where it had the engine section next to the throttle. That's not interactive as well, so if that's something that could potentially be fixed in a future update to make it more interactive, that would be quite good. The cockpit itself, he has tried to make it a bit similar to the A380 in real life, which I'm showing you here. The screens pretty much look similar, but not as detailed as you like it. You've got a window shade here that doesn't work. I mean, that's simple stuff that if you add would just make it would make the aircraft look a bit nicer, feel more interactive as well. You've got your jump seats at the back. Those aren't really interactive, so you can't click on them to fold them down. And I'm not sure if you can do that on other aircrafts as well, so maybe that's not as important. But yeah, I mean, cockpit itself, if you fly in cockpit mode a lot, then obviously you want a bit of realism, and that's something that you're gonna want to make sure that looks perfect. Now let's move on to showcase mode. This is one of the big disappointments I had. Now when you buy this item, it does advertise as a realistic cockpit and a cabin, but as you can see here, we're missing a cabin. On Bredok's website, he says on report bugs and wish list, custom camera from interior showing wrong textures. Now I'm not sure if this is what he's on about. If it is, hopefully it gets updated, but if this isn't what he's talking about, then I really do hope this is something he fixes. Otherwise it is going to be a really big disappointment. You're paying what, $22.99 if you're in the UK for this aircraft, and the majority, 99% of aircrafts you buy has a fully working cabin. So that's something that it should come standard with an aircraft like this, especially when it's an A380. Now, like I've said before, the A380 is one of my favorite aircrafts ever. I recently flown on one, and I've always wanted to fly this plane on this game, but no one's actually ever released one. They might release it for Flight Simulator 2024. I know you've got companies like Fly-by-Wire and I think Inibuilds also mentioned the potential of creating one. I know they're busy with the A350, so when no one's releasing an A380, then of course the first creator that does it, I'm of course gonna buy it just to see how it is. One thing I've also noticed when taxiing, well, taking off, I don't know if it's my controller or not, but the plane does like to drift quite a bit. I'm not sure why, but I mean, takeoff on this plane is quite nice and smooth. It doesn't jump around or bounce. I have had issues with the Boeing 787, which is an aircraft produced by Microsoft, and ever since an update they did a long time ago, that aircraft has been virtually unflyable. I mean, as soon as you take off, it just flops around. I'm not sure why. Um, Whereas the A380 here, you can tell from my experience of flying it, it is quite nice. There are times when it just wants to dip down for some reason. I'm not sure why. At this point, I put on autopilot, and the plane wants to go down a bit before flying back up. Um, in terms of autopilot, before I talk about that, I'm just going to change the weather here to rainy just to see how it looks. But with autopilot, the altitude works quite well. You can put in, say, 10,000, 15,000 feet and it'll work. But for some reason, the speed doesn't. Um, Regardless of the speed that you put in, the aircraft just wants to go top speed basically, which is a bit annoying. So that's something you have to do manually. I've put on rainy weather, so I'm trying to see if the wipers work. At this stage, it doesn't work. I'm not sure why. But later on in the video, it did start to work, which is a bit strange. So there's that. I mean, there are many things that you can fix. Hopefully, again, like I say, in a future update. But let's see if he does do that. I'm not sure how many of these he's sold. Probably be quite a lot. So, and judging by a lot of the feedback I've seen on other YouTubers' channels, a lot of people have said that this aircraft is a bit crap. Now I do understand their opinion. I see it from their view, but from my perspective, I'm quite happy with the plane minus the cabin. For me, it does the job. For the videos that I do, like you've seen before, I just tend to do takeoff, a bit of cruising, and then landing, and for me that works. The only issue I do have with landing is whenever I do a time jump, the sound of the engine just cuts off. So I have to jump back into main menu and then redo it again from there. This isn't an A380 exclusive problem. I do have this problem with other aircrafts, mainly the add-on ones. So I don't know how to fix that. Hopefully there is a way. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try and land here at Bangkok airport, but that's not gonna work properly because I can't get the landing gear down due to the speed I'm on. But like I said, this was gonna be a proper full-on review about this aircraft. My final thoughts on it: if you've got the money to spend and you don't mind like certain things such as the unfinished cabin, then I would say go ahead and buy it. I mean, it is a really good aircraft. It does work properly. Um, the sounds are quite nice. The aircraft doesn't, what's the word? It doesn't float. It doesn't do random things. Like, you are in control of the aircraft, unlike other ones. So, for instance, I think the A321 or the another aircraft, it's an add-on. Whenever I do a time jump, there are times where I just simply cannot control the aircraft. Like, whatever input I do, it just does not work. Whereas this one, it does. So I mean, that's a positive in my book. But yeah, like I said, other people might say don't buy this. It's a piece of crap. Purely if you want an A380, if that's an aircraft you love, there are no other options. If you're on Xbox, if you're on PC, you've got a free version, and I know there's probably going to be another version of the A380 coming out soon. But for us Xbox users, we're quite limited in what we can use, and this is pretty much going to be the only one that we can fly in the near future. So if you really want to fly an A380, buy it. Like I said, it works fine for me. I'm happy with it. That's my final verdict. There are a few things that need to be fixed, such as including more liveries and the cabin, and Bredok has stated on his website that he does intend to update the aircraft with more liveries, potentially the cabin as well. I have emailed him. Hopefully he gets back to me. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. It is quite long. Do appreciate you staying tuned. As always, leave a like, press that subscribe button, and thanks for watching.